What's going on, my friends? I do hope you are well. That I do. Just thought I'd check in here a little bit, and if you're looking closely in the background, what you're seeing is pretty much what it is. It is. If you know and you've been watching me for the last couple of months, you know what I've been doing research on. And I swear I've watched every movie, every video on it possible in every scenario. And one could say the devil made me do it. But you know something? If I'm right about anything in this video, the devil could make me do a lot worse. The devil could make me do much more than buy an MPC Keys 37. Yes, I did it, my friends. I broke down and I did it, and I love it. The workflow in this thing is incredible. I had to do it. Yeah, I probably did watch one video too many, maybe. I probably did. But what I've seen this thing get put through and what it's capable of is incredible. Golly. If you're going to buy one of these things, I will tell you, I mean, the setup is a little quirky, but I got through it. I got everything downloaded, ready to go, linked it with my account. Do it right the first time. You know, I had to get an SD card for it, which I got the 512 gigabyte. I got the ultra capacity. Can't remember the exact specs, but you gotta do it right. So it's because as much as I had to put on it for the external instruments and plugins, I put them on the SD card because there's not enough room. There may not have been enough room on the internal hard drive. So it takes just a few seconds more to load the instrument, but that's okay. When you get this, man, you got to get the stage pianos. You got to get the strings. Stuff's incredible. You know, it really is. It's just one of those things that it's not the fact that I needed something like a shiny new toy. The workflow in this thing is different. And the cool thing about it is just, it's another instrument. I mean, this thing, you can DJ with this thing. Yeah, I mean, you can flow with this thing. I can tell you straight up. You don't exactly have to be an EDM or hip hop artist to get one. I love it, man. I've had it a few hours here trying to set up, and just kind of toying with the pianos, man, are just... I'm not a piano player. I suck at piano. But anyway, I get it done. You know, I'm a guitar player, but I can do piano parts when I'm composing stuff, but I'm not a performer with the piano, man. But these pianos sound incredible. If you were to put a little reverb on them, it'd be incredible. The Steinway Grand, this is a Yamaha Grand C7. I don't know if you can hear this all that well. There are videos where these guys showcase this thing. It sounds incredible. I mean, the pianos, they really are cool. I was going to do it. I needed to do it right. You know, so it's a full workstation. I have everything I need on it. I've toyed with it a little bit. All these videos I've watched and watched these guys, I started poking around and started understanding the workflow is not going to be that hard. You just have to understand what each thing does here. You know your project is the name of the overall project. Your sequence is the sequence of all the tracks, the loops that you're doing in that sequence, basically almost like a set of loops. And when you go further in it, if you were to sequence out a song, you just duplicate the sequences and then you mute out and sequence however you want and then line your sequences up and do it. I mean, it's further process, but your program is basically whether you're using drums or whether you're using keys for a key group for your sample or whether you're using a plug-in for an instrument. Your track is basically your track, is what that program, that instrument is going on. So it just, you've got MIDI, you got a million and one things you can do. There's a few different ways of doing each task, which is kind of cool, and however you want to do this, so which I think is very cool. But But I broke down and I got it. I love it. Here's the cool part about this. This is a MIDI controller. Now, mind you, I ain't pay this kind of money for just a MIDI controller, but I can use it as a MIDI controller and plug it in my computer and use it in Logic. It can be a standalone DAW, which is on the computer. The instruments are on that. I can do that. Or I can put it in Logic as a plug-in and I can feed it everything in there. But more than likely what I'll do here is I will do everything on here, do, some vertical, sets of loops and a set basically to sequence the song. I'll take those tracks and I'll put them in Logic Pro and I'll run it linear, finish it, add to it, mix and master it and go. It really is so cool. I just love how it integrates. And some of the other things this thing can do is unbelievable. Go watch the videos of a guy named Andy Mack, I believe his name is his name. If you're watching any of the Kai videos, Andy Mack is a British guy. What he can do with one of these will blow your mind. Go watch what he did with the Phil Collins track. Unbelievable what he did. Unbelievable what he did. So, but this thing is pretty cool. I'm just going through the sounds right now. It really is so cool. I can't begin to tell you enough just how cool this is. I don't even know what the strings sound like. You've got the Mini D. It's almost like the Mini Moog for the basses. Let's see what Fabric piano's like. It takes a second for it to come up because all these instruments were put on the SD card. As I said a minute ago, you only have so much hard drive space, and the RAM on it is dedicated to this. So people are trying to compare it to computer RAM. It's a different setup because this is a dedicated machine. So I get some people's argument about that, but I haven't had this enough to understand what they're talking about. I know all about RAM, but on this, it's not like a PC. You don't have a million and one different things going on in the background. This is a dedicated machine, so. Let's bring up the octave. Classical grand. Studio grand. A lot of similarities to it, but you've got an ambient piano. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, you got some vinyl scratch, some vinyl noise. It's pretty cool. Like for a lot of hip hop and lo-fi does that. Now you can go into this patch and you can remove that vinyl noise if you want to. God, it sounds so good. Take that vinyl noise out of there. It's going to be incredible. What I love the most is delay and reverb on a piano. Do a lot with tension music, but a lot of minimal emotional. It just really does something to, when you're doing ambient stuff too. And then the vinyl kind of carries out in the delay. But you got an ambient too. First one sounded beautifully. And you can go in, I'm pretty sure you can edit the instrument. You can take that, oh yeah. You can take the noise out of it. Flavor and EQ, I don't even know what in the world. There's flutter, vinyl, there it is. You can turn that vinyl off. Actually, you can turn the whole thing off. There it is. And you can EQ it, oh, it's incredible. Yeah. right. I love it. Now, mind you, Spectrasonics, these guys are absolutely incredible. Things you can do. But these guys, at the Air Music Technologies, man, these guys are incredible, man. But you know, as for a sampler on this thing, there's a lot of great samplers out there, and I know that. Logic's got good samplers. Serato's got great samplers. Serato is a great sampler. It's probably, to be honest, Serato is probably one of your better samplers out there. But you've got them in Ableton. Speaking of Ableton, this has an Ableton link. It'll run. But this is a DJ setup too. You can flow this thing as a DJ, whatever the hell you want to do. You can run audio in this and play, and you can run a playlist and all kinds of stuff. But there's a lot of great samplers out there. But the absolute triple OG of sampling was with Akai. I mean, you guys, any of y'all that know about the history of hip hop and how it evolved, it didn't start with Akai MPCs, but the guy who created the MPC, Roger, I think it's Roger Lynn is his name, did the Lynn drum, man. He was involved in, I think it was that SP12, or I can't remember the name of the model of that unit, that these guys used to run like tape loops and stuff in and do all that. If you've ever seen how, like the East Coast hip hop, how they did it, how they used to really sample, they literally take tape loops. They take tape and they loop them through. And it'd probably loop them through a tape player, maybe a 2-track reel, and do the craziest stuff and loop them. And then they'd feed it through and, do all kinds of, they could reverse them. I mean, it's pretty much how a lot of that started, man. And much deeper than that, but man, have we come along in technology, so much. But I was just impressed at how this thing sounds. And it really is, it can be a live keyboard for doing keyboards, They've got a 61 key version of this thing, which is absolutely incredible. But a lot of good videos on how to showcase this out on YouTube. Do a hell of a lot better than I could do showcasing this thing, but that sounds so pretty. Beautiful. It was, you get pianos on your Logic Pro. Yeah, you could do that, and I've got a ton of pianos. But for this workstation and the workflow and what I want to do, I really want to get the sounds in this thing too, and they were not that expensive. I mean, you're talking $899 for the unit. It's an investment. It's not really an investment, it's an investment into what I'm doing. But $250, $300 in instruments and stuff, and it's not a whole lot more that you need to get. You get the Fabric XL bundle, and you get the stage pianos. Mini D, which is the Mini Moog. You get Jura, which is the Juno 60, something like that. Let's see, where's Jura? It's your Juno 60 emulation. Let's hit Mini D. A lot of stuff. The Mini Moog, the Mini D, I guess how it emulates it. Not exactly sure what Moog it is. I'm not real versed on what the... But there's a ton of stuff you can do. And I mean, like I said, you do not have to be a hip-hop guy or an EDM person to run these. I was talking with the guy at Guitar Center today, and he said, I'm a rock metal guy, but I've got an MPC 1 Plus. And basically, this is an MPC 1 Plus with keys on it, basically. He said, dude, I put a controller on it, and I run it, and I do different things. It's good to hear guys like that say that, because with technology and how we're evolving, it's just so many cool things you can do. So I look at this as an added instrument, and I think that's what it boiled down to. All the research that I did on this, God knows I watched every video that I could possibly think of. There's a lot of good channels out there. I'm going to continue to watch them, and how these guys, I've got to, man, when they get into the sampling and a lot of stuff. What is incredible about the sampler in this thing is the warp feature, and how you can take that sample and you can click out and find the BPM of it. You can click it out, then you hit warp and it goes back, and then you raise the BPM of the whole project and it falls in line. And I mean, the stem splits in this thing, what it does, and has that warp feature where it falls in. Watch that guy, what he did with that dang Phil Collins and that Genesis track, man. Holy cow, man. Each part went to each pad, and he could mute them. It's just like doing remixes. He can fade them out with these quick knobs over here. I forgot what they call these knobs, but and he can reverse them and chop them up, and you've got that auto chop where you can do it by rhythm. You can go through the sample and you can hit the pads right where you want to chop it and just rhythmically chop it and go back and tweak it, and in seconds you've got to chop however you want it. It's just it's more of a free-flowing sampler, and the workflow is just, you're not looking more at the screen, and it's less visual, and you're concentrating more on the music. I think it could be a less distraction than some of the things you want to do, but it's not going to do everything that I do. A lot of stuff that I do that I'm not doing on here, but there's some stuff I want to do on here. So like I say, it's just an added instrument, and I love it, but I had to break down and get it. I got it, and I love it. So I'm just going to learn this thing, and I'm going to toy with it and see what it'll do, because I think it'll be pretty cool. And if you have one, chime in, man. I'm trying to learn this thing all I can. I want to make it happen. And any tips and tricks, man, I'm down for it. Any good YouTube channels, I maybe pass them on, because I think I hit every one of them, but I may not have seen them all. There's some good channels out there that really showcase this unit, and they really do. So I love it, and I'm gonna make some music with this thing. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'll keep you guys posted, and I appreciate you for watching, and I appreciate all of your suggestions and all of your feedback. I really do. And this is what I decided to go with. So let's do this. I'm going to make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.